So taking time to sit up nice and tall in your chair. And it's best if you can practice without socks or shoes on, but if you have to have your socks and shoes on, that's fine. No worries there. We start with our centering. And today, what was that? I had a chat. Uh, okay. All right. So today, or let me say this, usually in yoga, we have what's called an intention, to set an intention for your practice today. So today I want to just offer a, a quote to focus on in lieu of an intention, or you can set your own intention for your practice. In other words, how do you want to show up today for your practice? Do you have any goals for practice today, such as you want to feel more flexible, you want to feel more clarity in your mind, because yoga is a mind-body practice. So in addition to that, I would like to offer a quote to focus on during your centering time, when we take time to sit and just listen and focus on our body. And one of the quotes that I really have always liked was by Gandhi, who said, be the change that you want to see in your life. So if you have some issues that are going on, how would you see yourself changing those things? Some things that maybe you don't feel good about or comfortable about, and you would like to see a change. You know that our world is kind of in a flux now, and it has been for centuries. Every century, every generation has a time of unrest. So we look at things on the outside of us as being the things that we want to see to change so we can feel better. But I think what Gandhi meant was, if you see something in life that doesn't make you feel good, or that you feel is wrong, take a look at within and say, how can I change myself to either look at that from a different perspective, or just be the change, be the love that you want to see in the world, be the peaceful person that you want to see others to become, be the kind person that you want. And not to say you're not kind, I'm sure you are, but sometimes we know, and it's been pounded in our heads for years, that we cannot change another person. We can only change ourselves. So I just want to share that as a thought or a word or a quote to focus on during your centering time today as we do our yoga practice. So with that being said, sit up nice and tall, close your eyes maybe, and just begin to scan your body from head to toe. You can bring some movement to the body by just rolling the shoulders back and forwards a few times. Maybe shrug the shoulders up and down. Just begin to go within and check in with how you feel right now. And if you need to make a change in how you're thinking right now, what kind of thoughts are you having? So as you scan your body, adding a little movement, turning your head from side to side slowly, noticing how your neck and your shoulders feel. So I may have said having you or asking you to do a lot of things at one time, but just maybe pick one or two things. Focus on your body. Think about your intention. Is there something in your life you want to change? As you just slowly take some time to circle your head, make sure you move your head slow, keep your neck long. Reverse and circle in both directions. Noticing how your neck feels. Bringing your head back to center. Take your chin toward your chest and then lift your chin up toward the ceiling. I love that yoga also encourages us to focus and notice our thinking, the types of thoughts we're having, because the types of thoughts we're having can affect how we feel. And we do have control over our thoughts. And then come back to center to the degree that you have not, moving into sun breaths. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. And repeat, inhale, up, and exhale down. So we have control over our thoughts to the degree that we haven't created thoughts of habit or habitual thoughts that are really hard to change. That's when our thinking becomes hard, is when we have a habit of thinking and then we try to change that habit of thinking, and that becomes hard. That can be really hard. So the experts tell us now, neuroscientists tell us now that we have to create new habits of thinking. So we can't really break old habits of thought, but we have to begin to do the work of creating new habits of thought, thoughts that feel better. Now just circle the arms, raising the arms up, taking them back and down. Just full range of motion. We're just warming up our joints here. As you bring your attention and your awareness to each part of the body that you're moving, now bring your arms out in front, circle at the wrists, thinking about your spine, nice and long. Shake out the hands and the fingers, and then make fists with your hands and spread the fingers wide apart. Place your hands on top of your thighs. Move your torso. Pay attention to how your back feels, your stomach, your chest, the sides of your body. Reversing in the opposite direction. Well, these little movements just help to focus on those areas of the body. And we're also centering ourselves, bringing our awareness and our attention to the present moment, moving into cat-cow, rounding and unrounding your spine, or flexing and extending, warming up the vertebrae, the bones along the spine, as well as the muscles that line the spine. So you draw your shoulders back as you lift your heart, your chin, and then draw your shoulders forward as you lower the chin to the chest and round back towards your seat. Notice how your spine, the spinal muscles feel. And then come back to center. Moving right into our seated sun salutation. Pressing your feet firmly into the floor with your knees and ankles about hip width apart. Inhaling, leaning back slightly, look up. Exhaling, forward fold, fingertips towards the tops of your feet. Inhaling, slide the hands all the way up to your hip creases. Draw your elbows, shoulders back, lift your heart, your chin, look up. Exhale, round your spine, stretch your arms long, chin to chest. Inhale, arms overhead, lean back slightly, look up. Exhaling, palms together in front of your heart. Roll the shoulders down. Take a breath. Inhale, deep breath in. Look up, lean back. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips, hands towards the tops of your feet. Inhale, slide your hands up to your hip creases. Draw your elbows, shoulders back. Lift your heart, lift your chin. Look up. Exhale, round your spine, arms long, chin to chest. Inhale, repeat, arms up. Exhale, palms to your heart. Roll the shoulders, take another breath. Inhaling, up again, arms, lean back, look up. Exhale, folding from your hips, hands down. Slide the hands up as you inhale. Thumbs to your hips, draw your elbows, shoulders, lift your heart, lift your sternum, look up. Exhale, round your spine, arms long. Inhale, arms overhead again. Exhale, palms to your heart. Take a breath, roll the shoulders, close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Place one hand over your heart, the other hand over your belly. Continue deepening your breath on the inhalations and exhalations. Begin to notice if you can feel your abdomen, your ribs, chest expanding on the inhalation, contracting on the exhalation. With each inhalation, feel your spine elongating through the crown. And as you exhale, pressing your feet, your hips down into your seat and the floor. Gradually deepening your breath without forcing. Allowing the breath to become slow, easy, deep. Find the rhythm, feel the rhythm of your breath. With each inhalation and exhalation, allow your thoughts to begin to quiet. Allow your vibration to rise, your mind to clear, your heart to open. Centering in the present moment. And just ask yourself, what change would I like to make in my life at this moment during this practice, in my life in general? And how can I become that change with power, beauty, kindness, love for myself and others? Bring your arms down by your sides. Open your arms out wide. Turn your palms down. Inhale, and as you exhale, reach over to your right side. Press your left foot and your left hip down. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach to your left. Press your right hip down. Right foot, right hip down. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach again. As you exhale, inhale, center. Exhale, reach left. And inhale, center. Bend at the elbows. Draw your shoulder blades together in your upper back. Bring your elbows back. Lean back slightly. Look up. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. Feel your heart open. Bring your hands down toward the seat behind you. Squeeze the shoulders in your back a little bit more. Press the shoulders down. Lift your heart, your sternum up a little bit more. Look up. A couple more deep breaths in and out. Opening your heart. Breathe toward the back of your heart. And then bring your arms back up with the palms together. Interlace your fingers. Stretch your arms out in front. Bring your arms back overhead. Inhale. Exhale, bend to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, palms to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, twisting from your belly button, keeping your thumbs and your heart center, looking toward the right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Interlace your fingers. Exhale, arms overhead again. Lean back slightly. Look up. And exhale, float your arms down by your sides. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. Turn your palms up. Close your eyes. Check in. Notice what you feel and where you feel it. Do you notice any changes in your body just from that brief flowing practice? Warming up the upper body a little bit. Now open your eyes. If you have your set of light weights, take your weights in your hands. If not, you don't have to use weights. Make sure your wrists stay straight and you're not overextending, hyperextending, or flexing at the wrist. So you want your wrist to be nice and straight. And bring your arms down by your sides. Then we're just going to do some lateral raises to start, one at a time. So you inhale up and exhale down. You just raise the weight up just to the shoulder level or below, not higher than your shoulder. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Sit up nice and tall. Press your feet down into the floor if your feet can reach, or if you have a set of blocks, you can place your feet up on the block too. So if your feet don't reach to the floor. So you inhale up, exhale down. 4 more times, side to side, at your own breath pace. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, exhale. Last side. Inhale, exhale. Okay, now bring the weights out to T position. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. turn the weights forward, your palms forward. If you need to, if the weights are heavy, you can bend your elbows a little bit. Take a couple deep breaths in and out, just holding the weight there. Now slowly raise the weights overhead. You can keep a bend in your elbow. We're going to inhale up and then exhale, turn the palms down. Inhale, arms up, turn the weights up as you continue bringing the weights overhead. And then exhale as you slowly bring the weights down. So try to move with control. Slow movements up. You can keep a bend in your elbow as much as you need to. And then slow moves down. So we're toning our arm muscles as well as our shoulders. So what I want you to use your biceps muscles and your triceps and not so much the shoulders. So we're just nice, easy, inhale up and exhale down. Now, if you don't have weights, you can do the same thing. We're basically doing sun breaths. Inhaling up and exhale down. Engage your lower abdominals here. Inhale up and exhale down. 2 more. Inhale up and exhale down. 1 more. Inhale up and exhale down. Now bring the weights to the tops of your shoulders. To the tops of your thighs, sorry. And now bring the weights down by your sides again. This time we're going to do lateral raises coming forward though, one at a time. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And try not to raise the weight higher than your shoulders or too much higher. It may look like I'm raising my weights up higher than my shoulder, but try to keep the weight at shoulder level or below. Inhale up, exhale down. Sit up nice and tall, engage your lower abdominals. Okay. Inhale up, exhale down. Chin is slightly tucked. Inhale, exhale. One more, side to side. Okay, now bend at the elbow and lift the weights up to shoulder level. We're going to exhale, elbows in. Inhale, open. Exhale, together. Inhale, open. Exhale. If you feel in your low back, you can lower the weights down a little lower. You can also engage your lower abdominals a little bit more. Let's do 2 more times. Exhale, inhale, last one. Okay, go ahead and rest the weights. Roll the shoulders back and down, forwards and back. Now just bending from your hips. Place your thumbs in your hip crease, and I just want you to bend forward halfway, slightly. Bring your arms down by your sides. And now draw the elbows back like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. And then release the weights down. And then squeeze back and release. Squeeze back and release. So you can inhale down. Exhale as you squeeze the shoulder blades together. 4 more. Last 2. 1 more. Okay, and then sit up nice and tall. Circle, make some circles in both directions. And then do a couple rounds of cat-cow. And then place your weights down by your sides. Take your yoga strap or an old tie or scarf. Or you can use a stretchy band too, or a piece of tubing, a stretchy tube. Hook it over your shoulders, arms wider than your shoulders. Inhale the strap overhead, and then take the strap back as far as you can. Find your resistance. The edge, we have something called the edge in yoga, and that's when you start to feel resistance. You hold it there, and then you breathe. Take some deep breaths, focusing the breath in the area where you feel the tightness and the tension, but you should feel a nice stretch in your armpits, the front of the aspect of the armpits, and along the side of the breast tissue area, helping to create space for the lymphatic flow in that breast tissue area. Now slowly lower the strap down to the right, your right side, feeling a little deeper stretch on that left shoulder area. Again, find your edge. Don't go until it feels painful, just until you feel that resistance, and then start taking your deep breaths in and out, nice, easy, slow, deep breaths. And you're pressing your feet down into the floor. Inhale, strap up, exhale. So obviously if you don't have a strap, you just you're doing it without the strap, but it does help. It gives you more contact. It gives you that, increases your proprioception or your awareness of your body when we use the props. That's why I love using props, if you can, whenever you can. And then just going from side to side a couple times, and then lower the strap down toward the middle of the back of your head. Maybe you can take it back a little further, but don't force it. Remember, just find your edge, your point of resistance. Breathe. So these are some really nice chest heart openers, opening your heart, taking some deep breaths in and out. As you look up and raise your arms up, this is that posture that they did a study and said when we just do this posture, it helps to elevate our mood almost instantly. And that's what chest openers, heart openers do in yoga, are heart opener postures. Now very gently, carefully, just release, bring the strap down, resting your hands on tops of your thighs. Close your eyes for a moment. Check in with your heart. Notice how your heart feels. How do you feel right now in your heart? Does it feel more open? Can you breathe deeper? Finding that that connection to your heart right now. Okay. And then come back to center, or open your eyes if you close your eyes. You can place your weight over to the side. Just work on the lower body a little bit. So pressing your left foot down, leaning back slightly on your chair, flex your foot. Interlacing your hands either on the outside of the knee or underneath the leg. Circling at the hip joint in both directions a few times. And then holding the side of the chair with the left hand, just stepping that foot out and in. So just still checking in with that hip joint. How does it feel today? We work on the same joints every week, but this is what we do to help keep those areas flexible. And then if you can, draw that knee up a little higher, pressing a little firmer into the floor with your left foot. Inhale. And as you exhale, rounding your spine a little bit as if you're drawing the knee towards your forehead, still pressing the shoulders down away from your ears. And you're doing like a little abdominal crunch. So you're kind of drawing your lower abdomen or your abdominals inward slightly as you round. One more deep breath in and out. And then raising your head and shoulders, walk your left foot over, cross the right leg over, unless you have any hip or knee issues, and you can't do that. So this is your practice, working at your own pace within your own range of motion. And then circle the foot, your right foot in both directions a few times. And point and flex the foot. Breathe, take a moment, check in. And if you can cross that leg all the way over, flex the foot, keep the foot flexed to protect the knee. Both hands on the side of your right thigh. And then slowly rotating your torso, maybe going a little further this time into the spinal twist. Once you feel the resistance, hold. Turn your head to look toward the right shoulder and breathe. Maybe close your eyes. Notice how your spine feels. We're wringing out our spinal bones for flexibility, but also when we come back around the center, so slowly come back to center, and then blood can flow freshly throughout your vital organs and throughout the body. And then uncross that leg, tap it out. You have your strap nearby. And, oh, I thought I had a second chair. I don't have my chair, do I? I thought I had a second chair. Well, I have my balance ball. But either you might not, if you don't have any props, you want to extend the leg. You can keep a slight bend in the knee if you need to. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see the foot a little bit more. And you just place that heel right on the floor. Take your strap. Now make sure you're stable on your seat and you're hinging from your hips. Place your strap around the ball of the foot and then sit up nice and tall. You're just hinging from your hips just till you feel a nice stretch. If you have a couple blocks, you can lift the foot up onto your block. I'm just going to square my hips up here and then go forward. You feel a stretch on the back of the leg and you only go as far as you feel. When you feel that resistance, remember that's your edge. Probably tired of me saying that, but that's what I do. Take a few deep breaths in and out. You may feel the hamstrings softening a little bit. And then if you feel softening, you just walk a little further or walk your hands down a little further. If you don't have your strap, you just walk the hands down. Never press on the knee joint. A couple more breaths in and out. And then you just very gently walk your hands back up, avoiding the knee. If you have your strap and you want a little bit more of a stretch and you want to lean back and raise the leg up higher, you can. You can also place both ends of the strap, or you lean back on your chair, place both ends of the strap in your right hand and maybe take that leg out to the side for an inner thigh stretch. Or you can take it over a little bit more to feel a little stretching along your IT band, the hip, outer leg area. So just kind of move from side to side a little bit. Check in and just look, kind of exploring what you got going on in your body. You can also have the leg lifted, but have the knee bent. You do the same, bend the knee a little bit. You're holding on to the chair if you need to. And then bring that leg down. Tap it out. And those of you now some of you might have wanted to go even further. So, and you know how to, you've done it before. Maybe bring one arm out to the side and then the other leg out to the opposite side. Turn your head to look toward the thumb. So if you've already done these types of movements, feel free to go to your extreme, your edge, your comfortable edge, and then lower the leg down, tap it out. So and it's a beautiful thing because you're in your own home, so you don't feel like you're underdoing or overdoing anybody else. I love everybody to have their own free expression of how their body is. So we're focusing on our own body. We're not concerned about what someone else is doing in my yoga practices. So next, other leg, left leg, interlacing on the outside or under the knee. And we know that when we help ourselves, we help the world. One of my other favorite quotes, I put on when I was living in a dorm in college, and I put this quote on my wall and I read it every day. There's actually a couple quotes that I love, but it goes, nothing good or constructive is ever lost. It goes into the vast pool of pure thought that's being formed around the earth's plane. So to me, that said, any pure thought you have is combining with all pure thoughts. So nothing's ever lost. And we know that in physics, nothing ever everything just changes into something else. So, so why not a thought? And it combines with all good thoughts. So, all right, so drawing that knee up, inhale, exhale, rounding, drawing the knee toward the forehead. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. And we can keep circling. Maybe we didn't do enough circles that time with this leg, so we can do a couple more in both directions. And then bring that leg out and in, or you can step it out and in. So enjoying your practice, being in the present moment. That's where our control is, in the present moment. And then extending, bringing that foot down to the floor. That's available to you. And then making sure you're squaring your hips up toward the foot, pressing the opposite foot down, hinging from your hips. You can have a bend in that knee, especially if you have real tight hamstrings, or if you're able to lift the leg up. And then just fold forward for the hamstring stretch. Taking some deep breaths in and out. Walking the hands down as you feel the releasing of tightness and tension behind the leg. You're trying to keep your heart lifted. Softening into the posture. Inhale as you rise up. And then maybe lifting that leg up. Going a little further if you want to, or just staying right where you are. Bringing that leg out and in. Just checking in. Extending the opposite arm. A couple more breaths, sitting up nice and tall. And carefully bending that knee. Coming back to center. Let's just take a moment to check in. Scan your body. We're gonna finish and do the other side. Just wanted to pause. See if you know what you notice in your lower body. I noticed this leg feels like it's tingling a little bit more than this leg. This leg is settled down. Now open your eyes and then raise the leg up again. Walk the right foot over, and then crossing the ankle over, circle the foot at the ankle joint in both directions. Helping circulation in that area. And then crossing the leg all the way over, keeping the foot flexed, placing both hands on the outside of the left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, twisting toward the left side, maybe a little deeper than the first couple times we went into a spinal twist. Find your edge, breathe. Focus on your body. So you're tuning into your body, and it just feels more, it's like you're uplifting yourself when we do these practices. You're connecting with that sweet spot. And then coming back to center. Uncross the ankle. Tap it out. We did things in a little different order. But I want to go back to the right leg. And this time, if you're able to cross the ankle above the opposite knee, keeping the right foot flexed, gently pressing against the inner right thigh with the right hand. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, hinging from your hips, folding forward for the hip stretch. Feeling stretch on the outside, inside. Keeping your spine in neutral as much as possible. Couple more breaths. Maybe fold your arms, lower the forehead, or stack your fists, or drape your arms over, keeping that foot flexed. And then inhale as you slowly rise up, moving carefully. Ahimsa, being kind, showing kindness to the body. And then switching sides, carefully holding the ankle with the right hand, gently pressing against the left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, hinging from your hips again, folding forwards. Taking some nice deep breaths in and out. Drawing the shoulders down away from your ears. And then adjusting your hands as accordingly. So it's almost like you rest in the postures. And almost as if it's a meditation. Yoga as meditation and movement. And then slowly rise up. That's a beautiful thought, meditation. Yoga as meditation and movement. And then rolling the shoulders back and forth, a couple more rounds of cat-cow. And a couple more seated postures, and then we'll finish up with standing. So separating the feet wide apart. However wide you separate your feet, please have your knees tracking over your toes, your big and big toe, middle toe. And then shifting the hips to your left, pointing the right foot to the right, and then pressing the left heel away to have the left foot pointing toward the right side. Arms out to T or seated warrior. Draw your shoulder blades in towards each other. Press your feet down into the floor. So as you press your feet down, you almost feel your spine lifting. Gazing towards your right fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, reach to your right. Bend the elbow. Place the forearm on the right thigh. Extend your right arm next to the side of your face. And I'm going to go a little lower so you can see that my arm is like at a diagonal, extending. Press your left foot down. Extend your right fingertips up toward the ceiling. Couple deep breaths in and out. You're just resting the forearm there. You're not leaning. So maybe challenge yourself a little bit. Add some influence of your right obliques muscles. Only if that's comfortable for you, but if it's painful, don't do it. Now bring the palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, and then I want you to exhale. Inhale to your heart. Exhale. If you're only doing one hand, inhale, exhale. Shoot that arm out one more time. Inhale, exhale. And then come back up and bring the arms back to T. Bend your left arm, place the forearm in the hip crease, and then reverse warrior, reaching the arm, leaning back in the opposite direction. Take a couple deep breaths in and out here. And then come back to center. Okay? Draw the bow. Curl your fingers, draw the hands across the heart, extend. And then do that again. So you're not twisting. You're reaching the arm over, extend. One more time. Draw the bow, extend. Okay, now we're going to shoot the bow. So bring the fingertips up. Imagine you're shooting the bow. And then draw back. So do that 2 more times. I want you to see my arm. So I'm not leaning back as much because I know in case you need to see how the upper hand looks and back. All right, and then come back to center. Bring your left hand to the front, right hand toward the back of the chair, and you're going all the way over, facing the right side now. so that you can bring your left knee down toward the floor. If you have your block, don't move like I'm moving. I want you to move more carefully. But I don't want you to slip. You can take your block. That's too high for me, but if you want it, you can bring your shin. Ideally, your knees still going to stay lined up with your hips if possible. Or you can take the leg back for a deeper psoas stretch. So if you want to stretch your hip flexors out a little bit more, you bring that leg back a little more. But ideally, you would want your feet and, to be on a firm footing as much as possible, your right foot and the left leg. And inhale for crescent, seated crescent pose. Inhale the arm up, and you're going back into that back bend again, looking up toward the ceiling. Couple breaths here. Now slowly lower the hand. Keep your gaze on the fingertips. Eye yoga. Turn the palm up behind you, and the palm comes down in front of you. 3 more times at your own breath space. Inhale, palm up behind you, keeping your gaze. I want you to feel those little muscles stretching out around your eyeballs, if possible. And then one more time. And then bring that hand down. For a dancer pose, you're leaning forward slightly, you're still holding onto your seat. And curl your toes under. Maybe you can, it's not really a dancer pose. It's almost like a lunge pose. Lunging, we're lunging in the seat. If you can lift your knee up and press back through the heel, and you can bend forward as long as you're holding on, stable on your chair. If you need to bend less, you can bend less if you need to, or if you don't want to bend at all, you can just stay where you are. And then very carefully bring that leg forward and come back to. Now let's do, we're going to go in opposite direction. Before we do that, I want you to bring your blocks, if you have them, to between your feet or shoe boxes. Or if you don't have either, you can bring your fingertips to the floor. And you can always have your forearms on your thighs too. And you would just go rotate up one side. If you have your block, your hand is on the block. Reach up, turn your fingertips forward though. And then exhale, bring that hand down. And then rotating to the other side. And you're pressing the knees away so that your knees are still, or bring your feet in more so that your knees are still tracking over your big toe and your first toe. And then bring that hand down. I like to also do the seated version of a type of child's pose where you reach out a little further and you bend a little forward a little bit more. Take a few deep breaths in and out. And this is also a version of a seated wide-legged forward fold. And then sliding your blocks back, bringing one hand up, the other hand slowly rise up. Now placing the right hand to the front of the seat, reaching toward the back of the chair with the left hand, scooting the hips over, turning the left foot toward the left, and then pivoting that right heel outward, arms out to T. Inhale, exhale, reaching left this time, pressing that right foot, outer edge of that right foot down, left forearm to the thigh, extending the right arm next to the side of the head. Taking a couple deep breaths in and out. Now reverse warrior, going in the opposite direction, leaning back. Couple deep breaths. And then coming forwards. Drawing the bow, archer pose, open. 2 more times at your own breath space. So you remember, it's not a twist, you're just reaching across with that arm and open. Okay, now we're going to aim the bow up and draw the bow again. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. I'm just kind of emphasizing the breath. Now, if we go over, now I want you to extend your arms, and if you want to activate the obliques a little bit more, bring the palms together. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Shoot it out. And you can only do it with one hand too. And then come back up. Hands on your seat. Very carefully. And you have to be careful too. I want you to also always be aware of your knee joint. So if you make sure and notice if you're feeling any torquing in the knee, and then you always want to adjust, bringing the feet a little closer together. Let's take one of your blocks if you have it, place it between your knees. Now this is only if you want some resistance. We're going to try to stand up, but you don't have to use any of this. You can stand up without. If you're not using anything, you just do like this. Legs together, and then just leaning forward slightly, pressing your feet down into the floor as you slowly rise up. But if you want the resistance, you take your block, squeezing the block, bringing your arms up. Inhale, engaging your core, just slight forward movement and standing, squeezing the block as you rise up. And then bring the weights down. Always moving carefully within your own range of motion at your own pace. Never do anything that feels uncomfortable or unnatural to you. All right, so let's finish up with a few standing postures. Make sure you clear your space so that you don't step or trip on anything. So you can place things under your chair, but have everything nearby as much as possible. I'm going to have to adjust the camera for view. And let me slide my lettuce over a little bit and see if we can bring the balance ball. Oh, I'm cutting my head off. All right, let's see here. Oh, I like that. I like that sound. Okay, so anyway, here we go. So stepping next to the side of your chair, let's just do, let's do it this way. I'm going to show you how you can do it with you standing behind the chair. So if you want to stand behind your chair, you can do it this way. But make sure your chair is on a non-slip surface. And even if you have a wall behind you, you can even put your chair so that your chair is against the wall and you know it's not going to slip. And then lift your heels. You're going to pivot your toes to your right. Bend the left knee. This is our warrior 2. Turn the palm up and then lean back. Straighten the leg. Reach forward with that hand and then place the hand on the shin. So you're just going to dip that hip under a little bit, either on the thigh or the shin. So without pressing on the knee. If you have your block, you can use a block. Place your hand on that block. Or triangle pose. And you feel a nice stretch in that your inner right thigh. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. And then bend the knee again and come up. Then we switch sides. So pivoting the heels back to center and then lift the heels, pivot to the opposite side. And we bend that knee, starting with warrior 2. And then straighten the leg. And bring the hand down for triangle. Dipping that hip under. This also is a nice way to release tension in the low back. And you're trying not to round. You're trying to keep your angles straight or, without rounding. So you don't want to round in the side body. And then from there, if you wanted to, you can place your fingers on the hip, shoulders, or extend the arm straight out from the shoulder. And you're either looking up or down or out in front of you. Now, if you need to keep your hand on the chair, you can. And then bring your hands to the chair, bend your knees, lift your heels, pivot, and then heels, toes, march it out. Okay. So I faced away from you that time, just kind of so you can see what the back view looks like and how you could position your chair in front of your wall so you know that chair would not move. I know you probably wouldn't be able to see me, but I'm just saying if you ever trying a few of these exercises, one or two exercises on your own at home, and you can use a chair to make sure that you're safe. Stepping next to your chair, having your feet about hip distance apart, just lift the outer leg. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to shift forward and back here a couple times so you can see from the side view. And you're just shifting right at the hip joint. You're bringing the leg back and forward a couple times. And if maybe you can begin to straighten the leg a little bit more, straightening it forward and back. And you notice I'm leaning. When I bring the leg out in front, I lean back. When I bring the leg behind me, I lean forward. I have a soft bend in my knee. And I'm engaging my abdominals. So you should feel, you probably feel this standing leg is getting a little workout here. And then bring that foot down. Now take your block, place it to the inside of the right foot. And we'll just go forward and back a few times from the heels to the balls of the feet. Next time you come up to the heels, stay there for a few seconds. Try bringing one arm out, then the other arm out. So just checking it. Find your drishti point, a spot to stare at toward the floor. Bring your arms up. If you come down, that's okay. Just come back up. Checking in with your balance. Notice how your torso feels. You're still rooting your tailbone, slight bend in both knees. And then come down, all the way down. Bend that knee again, bring it out to the side. Toes either to the floor and heel above the right ankle, or you can bring your toes to your block. Find your drishti point, root your tailbone, draw your lower abdomen, ribs up and in. Gently drawing your shoulder blades together and your upper back. Chin is slightly tucked like a soldier. Spine and your crown lifts up toward the ceiling. Breathe, find your balance. Maybe bringing the palms together in front of your heart, maybe lifting the foot a little higher, avoiding the knee. And then from there, you can extend your limbs up or out. Turn the palms down. And then maybe you feel there's a little wobble, and that's okay. Finding that balance. And connecting with your peace. The peace that surpasses all understanding. Another great quote. There is that peace that passes all understanding. And then release. And we can find that during our yoga practice, that peace. Okay, so let's step over to the other side. Kind of flow through this a little bit now. And take your block with you. Lift that left knee. And then we're going back and forth a couple times. Soft bend in that standing leg, the left leg. And then when you're ready, maybe extend the leg back and forward a little further. Hinging from your hips, moving slowly. Focusing on your breath, finding your spot to stare at, your focal point. Bringing your feet back to the floor and then shifting forward and back a couple more times. And then back up onto the balls of your feet. And then adjusting your arms. Just testing, seeing different positions, how opening your heart. Maybe try looking up. Ooh, that's challenging, looking up and balancing. And then bringing the heels down. Bending the right knee, bring it out to the side. And then lifting the foot to the inside of the leg. Palms together. Maybe bringing the arms behind the back this time. Holding your elbows, lifting your heart, arching your back. And then releasing. March it out. And just come back to your seat. Or let's do one more. I think we have time. Just a few more seconds here. Take one more. I want you to face your chair this time. Bring your hands to your seat. And then walk your feet back. I always love to do downward facing dog during the practice because it's a nice full body stretch. You can bicycle your feet. You can do a few squats here. And then you can maybe lift up onto the balls of your feet and shift forward toward an upward facing dog and just kind of go back and forth. Nice stretch for the back to go back long. And then lifting your heart and your sternum, lowering your hips. Just a couple more times. And then stepping one foot forward, bend the knee. Nice stretch for the calf. And then straighten. You can lower down. And bend. And then kind of slide. Take that foot back. Step that other foot forward carefully. Bend the knee. Stretch that opposite calf muscle. And then straighten. Or Sphinx. Come up. And then just kind of walk the feet in toward each other. March it out. And come to your seat. Take a moment to recheck in and one more time for any remaining areas of stress or tension. And if you find any remaining areas of stress or tension, just breathe into those areas and mindfully ask them to release and relax. No longer controlling your breath, just feeling the breath flowing in and out of your nostrils. Cool air in, warm air out. Stay in this peaceful flow throughout your day, throughout your week. And remember, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And watch things magically happen or naturally happen. Namaste, Om Shanti, peace.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.